Hello, I'm Vic Reynolds. I'm the director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and thank you for taking a few minutes out of your time today. I thought today we'd discuss a little bit of a really interesting topic and subject within the GBI, and that's how we address cybercrime. In 2018, we were very fortunate in this state to develop and create Georgia's Cyber Crime Center. It's one of the first ones in the southeastern United States, and we're very proud of that entity. And it was developed and created to do basically three things. One is to investigate cybercrime wherever it may occur within the state of Georgia. The second function of the Cyber Center is to provide digital forensic support to our federal, state, and local partners as they investigate cybercrime throughout Georgia. And the third function of the Cyber Center is to provide cybercrime training to all of our partners, both on the federal, state, and local level throughout the state of Georgia. So let's take a moment to look at the number one function and duty of the Cyber Center, and that's to investigate cybercrime. This is certainly a type of crime that's very high on the radar of all law enforcement throughout the United States, and certainly the GBI is no different. In fact, between 2016 and 2020, cybercrime in the United States increased by over 200%. That's the extent of what we're seeing all across our nation, and not only in Georgia, but just here where we live in our state, we saw alone close to a $100 million loss as a result of cybercrime. And the truth is that number is probably very, very low because of the underreported amount of cybercrime throughout the state. And in fact, in 2020, our capital city, Atlanta, earned the title as the number one location from which to conduct business email compromise fraud. So we certainly have a lot on our plate throughout Georgia, not only in the capital city, but throughout the entire state in addressing cybercrime. And what's really interesting to law enforcement and very much of a challenge to us is that cybercrime presents itself like no other crime. In fact, the majority of time, the perpetrator of the cybercrime is not in the same area as the victim. In fact, very frequently, the cybercrime perpetrator, the defendant, will not even be within the boundaries of the United States. So we have to really leverage our relationship with our federal partners in order to pursue these individuals throughout not only our state and the country, but throughout the entire world, and making sure that we do all that we can to pursuing justice for Georgians who've been victimized as a result of cybercrime. And additional things that we've done at the Cyber Center is we've really fostered our relationship with our federal partners, the FBI, the Secret Service, because both of them have very active ongoing cyber task forces, and we work very closely with them. We also work very closely within the state with our Attorney General and their cyber force team that they've put together as well. And so we're doing all that we can to leverage those partnerships and work very closely with federal and state partners to make sure we attack this cybercrime throughout the entire state. In addition to the growing problem of business compromise fraud cases, we've also seen a tremendous rise in the investigations of cybercrime targeting the elderly. In fact, the vulnerable age group of 60 and above remain the number one target of cyber criminals throughout the United States. So we have to be very, very aware that we're working all we can do and working those cases of cybercrime on the elderly as close as we can with our federal, state, and local partners. And one of the last functions that we do in investigating cybercrime is we work very closely with our Georgia Emergency Management Agency, GEMA, and the Georgia Technology Authority, GTA, to make sure that we collaborate with them to investigate cyber attacks against government agencies and critical infrastructure that we've seen in several areas throughout the state of Georgia. So obviously the first duty and function of the Cyber Center to investigate cyber crime is something that keeps us very, very busy. But that's not all we do at the Cyber Center. Besides investigate cybercrime, we also provide digital forensic examinations and support to our federal, state, and local partners as they investigate cybercrime in Georgia. We're very blessed at the Cyber Center. We have 6 very highly trained and educated digital forensic investigators, what we call DFIs, who conduct examinations of cell phones, of computers, of automobile data systems, any other digital devices to discover evidence of criminal activity. So regardless of where you're at in the state, for example, if you're in the southern part or the northern part or the western part, you can reach out to our Cyber Center folks and ask them to come in and assist you to investigate and conduct examinations of any of these digital devices, which you believe as a law enforcement officer may in fact contain evidence of criminal activity. In fact, our digital forensic examinations have been so busy since we opened the door in 2018. They've literally doubled in number every single year. So that's a very active, busy part of what we do at the Cyber Center as well. But not only do we investigate cybercrime, and not only do we conduct support by investigating and examining digital forensic devices, we also have a third function at the Cyber Center as well, and that's to conduct cybercrime training throughout the state of Georgia. Since the opening of the Cyber Center in 2018, we've literally hosted hundreds of local, state, and federal law enforcement officers in cybercrime and digital forensic investigative training. And by partnering with experts throughout the entire country and by bringing them into our Cyber Center, we stay on the cutting edge of training, and we do our best to make sure that our local, state, and federal partners have that technology and training they need to provide the necessary tools as we fight this rapidly increasing threat to both our physical safety and certainly our financial safety. So again, let me just take a moment to thank you on behalf of the GBI for giving us a few minutes of your time today to join us and learn a little bit about our Cyber Center and the work those great folks are doing over there to make sure they pursue justice for the Georgians who have been victimized by cybercrime throughout the state. So again, thank you for that time. Thank you for your support of the GBI and law enforcement in general, and stay safe out there.